Okay, I'm going to call this meeting of the Beaver Dam Common Council, July 15th meeting in order at 7:33. And could we have a roll call, please?
Anderson,
Here.
Appenfeld,
Here.
Fournette, Burnett,
Here.
Furry, Fisher,
Here.
Hiley,
Here.
Keel,
Here.
Mark,
Here.
Olson,
Present.
Perkins,
Here.
Yeds,
Here.
Zop.
Here. Okay, we have a quorum, and please mention Frank Ferrari is excused. If we would all now stand for the pledge and a silent deliberation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time is when we would have a informal public hearing. So if there's anyone in the crowd or online that would like to state a item and address the council, now is the time to come up to the podium. This would be for anything that's not on tonight's agenda. Anybody that would like to speak to the council? Is there anyone that would like to speak to the council? Okay, seeing none, we'll call an end to the public hearing and move into announcements. I do have an announcement, I believe, that's a little confusing. The no wake order on Beaver Dam Lake was lifted on Friday. It appears that it's still been lifted. There hasn't been an announcement, at least on the Lake Improvement Association's Facebook, that it's back on. Hopefully we don't get a bunch of rain tonight because it might put us over the edge. And because of that, the fireworks was moved till September 1st, which is a Sunday night before Labor Day. Are there any other announcements? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to disposition of the minutes. This is from the meeting of July 1st, 2024. Is there a motion to approve those minutes? Alder Yeds?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. We have a second from Alder Zop.
Second.
Okay, and is there any corrections or comments, any questions on the minutes? Seeing none? Will you take a roll? No. All in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Okay. And so motion passes. Minutes are good. Moving to presentations and reports. First up is City Administrator report.
So just two things to pass along to the council. First, August 31st will be the day that we're planned or scheduled to launch our new website. So just be aware that that is coming. Staff are working very hard to kind of complete and refine the transition from the former website to this website. You'll note that we believe it's going to be much more user-friendly, mobile-friendly. The directory is going to be easier to update and keep on task. So we're excited about that. And then two, we had our second meeting with the Salary Wage Studies Subcommittee. We met with the PSC. And we're planning on having another subcommittee meeting at the end of this month, at which time afterwards we'll be reporting back to the administrative committee. But I just wanted to report that that's moving forward. So that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Nathan. Moving on to communications. Ms. Clerk, do you have anything?
We have no communications tonight.
Okay. Any other communications? Did you want to update that? Oh, you need to turn your mic on.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering if Nathan would like to add to the announcements of the wage increase that happened, or if we're just keeping that to the admin committee. Or I'm sorry, operations committee.
Yeah, so earlier today, we met with the operations committee and we updated them on the utility electrician. There was need for retaining the employee. I had intended to send out an email communication kind of updating the entire council versus spending time during this meeting. But because it's been brought up, I met with Jeremy, brought to my attention that the utility electrician was offered another position or another job at a higher rate of pay. I met with the mayor and also Jeremy to review the situation. In order to retain the employee, we offered a higher wage, and the employee today accepted that rate of pay. I would note too, I didn't bring this up, but I did meet also with Jack, our council president, and had the conversation with him too, knowing that there was interest at the council level to properly define authority for HR decisions of this nature. We do have within our budget the ability to make this rate of pay occur. And if there are further questions, please don't hesitate to contact me, and I can help you understand more. But to not spend a ton of time at this meeting right now during a report. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, moving on to approval of the bills. Is there a motion to approve the June 28th to July 1st or July 11th expenditures? Alder Burnett.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $667,687.37.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Alder
second
Keel,
I'll second that.
thank you. And is there any comments, any questions about the bills that were listed for your review? Seeing none? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, we'll pay the bills. Moving on then to ordinances, we'll start out with ordinance number 9.
Ordinance number 9-2024, an ordinance rezoning parcel number 206-1214-2243-002, located on North Crystal Lake Road from commercial district to multifamily residential district. This is a first reading.
I do want to correct that. This is a second reading. We okay to talk about a second reading if it was posted as a first reading? Okay. We did read this last week.
Okay.
So that means we go into public hearing. Is there anyone here that would like to discuss the ordinance rezoning? Is there anyone here that would like to, or online, that would like to discuss the rezoning of this property? Is there anyone? I see none, so we'll close the public hearing and open back up to the council. Are there any questions, or would you like clarification on what this actually is? Everybody know what it is? Okay. Then I guess we can call the roll.
Do you have a motion?
Oh, we don't have a motion? Oh, how about a motion?
I'll
Alder's up.
make a motion to revise the ordinance for zoning ordinance.
Okay. And is there a second to the Alder Bobby?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Now is there any other conversation? Any questions?
Is there anybody from the firm here tonight or just curious?
I don't think so. Trent, was there anybody here representing the developer? Not tonight.
Oh,
Did you have any questions for him?
I was just going to thank him for investing in Beaver Dam. So thank you.
Yeah, we've been investing in Ram since 78, so.
Well, thank you for your continued.
For the project we'll manage, so this is great.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, now we can call the roll.
Appenfeld,
Aye.
Bonnet,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Hiley,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Yads,
Aye.
Zap,
Aye.
Anderson.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance number 9 has been approved. Thank you very much. We'll move on now to ordinance number 10.
Ordinance number 10-2024, ordinance amending the 2024 budget. This is a first and second reading.
Okay, seeing how this is a first and a second reading, we'll open it to the public for a hearing. Is there anyone in the public that would like to comment on this? Okay, I don't see anyone, but anyone online or in the room that would like to comment or ask questions on this ordinance? One last time, anyone interested in asking a question on this? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. And we'll move it over to Kayla.
All right, so as laid out in our memo, we had a few adjustments that we're proposing to for the budget, for the 2024 budget. The court had extended hours to include Friday. And so with that included some extra salaries and wages needs for the clerk at the municipal court. In the packet, you'll see that we are proposing the use of the salary savings that the finance department experienced throughout the year. We just recently filled a position in our department, but we did have a few months of vacancy there. So the $12,000 that we'll need for the current clerk, we're proposing just to come out of the finance department. So just no net budgetary change there, just a reallocation. And then the second item is related to an LED street lighting grant that we are receiving. And in order for us to receive that grant, there is a match that the city has to make. That match can't use federal funds. Is that my understanding, Todd? And so we aren't able to use the already dedicated ARPA funds that we set aside for the LED street lighting upgrades. So we're basically just proposing kind of a slide of existing funds. So within our general fund budget, we had a transfer out into our CIP fund that we were using for the purchase of a DPW chipper truck. And so we are suggesting, instead of having the transfer to the CIP for the chipper truck, that we'll retain that within the general fund for the grant match. And that instead, you'll see there's a resolution looking to update the ARPA funds to include the purchase of the chipper truck. So reducing the LED upgrades out of the ARPA funds, replacing it with a chipper truck. So again, there's really not any, there's a net zero budget to the impact. The last piece for this amendment was really just a clarification of the timing that we, last November when we approved the original budget. So we went through and we approved the budget, and then we had the conversation afterwards with the resolution of the state trust fund, which later became the American Bank loan that we did, which included the West Street project. It was brought to our attention from our attorneys that the timing of that, we should really reflect within a budget that's being approved. So you'll see that the tax levy in this document is reflecting that additional $1 million for the West Street project that you guys approved with the resolution.
Okay, are there any questions of Kayla?
I
Yes,
just had a quick
Alderman.
question. This chipper truck, was that in the budget?
It was in the CIP. It was approved in the CIP. We were using general fund dollars to fund it. And so again, we're just proposing that we use ARPA funds to fund the chipper truck instead of the general fund, so that we have general fund dollars to use towards the grant.
And that's the replacement?
Yes.
Thank you.
Other questions? Alder Anderson.
Again, I just kind of have concerns doing staffing changes mid-year. Again, it's paid for, but I don't know, it just seems like a bad step by the judge to just, hey, I'm gonna blow my budget and add this staffing and not involve the council in this decision. I'm just kind of disappointed. Is the judge here tonight to speak to this?
No.
Or do you leave it on the city? Yeah. So again, that just reflects poorly. I don't know, do with it what you will, but I won't support it just because of the staffing. The tipper truck moving that around seems fine. But the staffing should really be done at budget time.
Alder Mark.
The issue of the additional hours for the municipal court clerk was discussed, I believe, over 2 meetings in admin. The judge did appear and discuss the need and talked about, and this went along with when he came into office, some of the changes that he envisioned. And admin discussed it and approved the change, given that we had the funds that were unspent. So it was in all the admin packets and minutes. So, I mean, right, but I'm saying it's there if people look. It isn't out of the blue, completely out of the blue.
Alder Burnett.
Was the judge's request based upon usage or flexibility or what?
I can
the-
I can jump into this. So there were multiple reasons the judge brought this forward. One was again the workload or the demand of time and wanting to direct more times towards certain projects that could have continued to be left undone, but he wanted to again have that additional time. The other thing was having presence in the court Monday through Friday versus just Monday through Thursday. And so he had that desire, and then also the desire to maintain and retain the employee as well was a desire of his.
Yes, Alder Fisher.
It's kind of a backdoor approach to a question I wanted to ask Nate. Is there somewhere on the internet or somewhere that we can go to find out an accounting of the ARPA funds from day one until now? It seems that the last 3 years, we keep saying ARPA funds. This can't be a situation. Well, it's got to end somewhere. I have no idea where we're at on that. Is there some way that we can go to like the internet or go to the website and find an accounting of ARPA?
We don't have a report about ARPA on our website or online, but that's not to say that Kayla hasn't been keeping track. We have that. In fact, my intention, I was just having this conversation with President Yudz earlier this week, was the intention was to bring a report to the administrative committee this next committee meeting. I can also send you what we have as far as an accounting or a report to the entire council just via email, if that would be desirable. I could send it tomorrow morning. We are currently, we've got more funds obligated, about $90,000 over obligated. Having said that, though, there are several projects that we knew were not going to be fully expended. And so that just takes a little bit more discussion. I can try to explain it in an email, but I was planning on reporting to the committee.
I thank you very much. I'd sure appreciate an accounting on that, that account.
And it's relevant because this year, at the end of this year, we need to have monies completely, at least spoken for or designated. And so the intent was during this budget cycle, our plan was to kind of take an assessment, evaluate where we're at, and then before the end of budget, we are going to kind of tie up any loose ends.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions on ordinance 10? Okay, seeing none. Is there a motion to accept this ordinance? Aldermark
I make a motion to approve ordinance 10, 2024.
and Alder Appenfeld.
Second that motion?
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any other discussion, any questions concerning how this one works? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Bonet,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Fisher, Hiley. Aye. Keel,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Yuds,
Aye.
Zop,
Aye.
Anderson,
No.
Appenfeld.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. We have ordinance number 10 in the books. We'll move on to ordinance number 11.
Ordinance number 11-2024, amending section 50-21, usage of city parks in the Beaver Dam Municipal Code. This is a first reading.
Okay, seeing how it's a first reading of ordinance 11, we'll have a second reading on August 5th. And move on to ordinance number 12.
Ordinance number 12-2024, amending section 62-8, certain vehicles prohibited, and section 62-9, bicycles, registration and operation of the Beaver Dam Municipal Code. Also a first reading.
Okay, ordinance 12 is a first reading and we'll have the second reading at our next meeting on August 5th. Please read ordinance 13.
Ordinance number 13-2024, amending section 66-41, sanitary sewer laterals of the Beaver Dam Municipal Code. This is a first reading.
Likewise,
Mayor,
yes, go ahead.
just one comment on this. If there are any questions on this ordinance in particular, it would be beneficial. I don't think there's anything preventing us from, but the purpose of the reason is I know that Jeremy is here tonight. He won't be here at the next council meeting. If there are going to be a ton of questions we'd like to know, we might delay the second reading until the time when he is here. I think that the concerns that were brought up during the committee during operations have been addressed in the red lines that Attorney Konopacki reviewed or went through. But just in case, wanted to at least give some opportunity for discussion.
And while you're thinking about whether to ask questions, just so you know that for those of you who were in the committee on this, we did say we were going to bring some additional changes to this phase. And so when you look in your packet, the red line that starts on page 52 of your packet, that red line it reflects the changes made since the ops committee. Okay, so there are, the clean version includes quite a bit more changes than what you'll see in this red line version, but this red line version is what we changed, which we verbalized we would be changing in ops last time around.
Okay, thank you for the update. So I don't see any other questions at this point. Let's move on to ordinance number 14.
Ordinance number 14-2024, amending section 62-50, parking restrictions of the Beaver Dam Municipal Code. This is a first reading.
I did have one question on this one. Todd, was the 500 block decided to be removed by the committee? I didn't see that in the ordinance.
It should be the 300 through 500 block.
Oh, maybe I missed it. Okay. That too is a first reading, so we'll have that on August 5th also. We'll have lots of ordinances on the first week in August. Moving on to resolutions, resolution number 59.
Resolution number 59-2024, a resolution awarding the contract for blasting and coating of 3 final clarifiers at the wastewater treatment facility.
Okay, we have a resolution on the floor. Is there a motion to approve and discuss?
I'll make a.
Alder
motion to
Zopp?
approve.
Okay, we have one motion and Alder Perkins and a second. Any discussions or questions? We had a pretty good explanation of this at the Operations Committee. You want to go ahead?
Just some brief background. Jeremy mentioned that he knows the awarded or would be awarded contractor, right? So even though they're low bid, they have a history with the city. So they are held in high regard. So I guess it's more of a good contractor at a good price. So we got a nice set of competitive bids.
Okay, thank you. And this is a update, been 15 years, I think Jeremy said, since an update like this was done on the clarifiers, and it will extend the life of the clarifiers. Okay, seeing no other questions, please take the roll.
Burnett,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Hiley,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Yads,
Aye.
Zap,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Appenfelt,
Aye.
Bonnet.
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 59 has been completed and passes, and move on to resolution 60.
Resolution number 60-2024, updating the use of up to $320,000 in ARPA funding to include the purchase of a Public Works chipper truck.
Okay, is there a motion to approve and discuss? Alder Burnett, okay. And we have a motion. How about a second?
I'll second.
Second from Alder Hiley. Discussion, maybe we want to start with you, Kayla.
Yeah, so as just mentioned during the ordinances, this is the follow-up resolution to reallocate those ARPA funds. The original amount that was approved was 320,000, of which we currently have 156,000, give or take, that are unspent. And so we're looking to move 66,000 and dedicate that towards that DPW chipper truck. So that would leave about 90,000 left for the use of LED upgrades, depending on what the grant may or may not be able to cover when that project is coming to the end.
Okay, any questions? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Fisher,
Aye.
Hiley,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Yads,
Aye.
Zap,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Appenfelt,
Aye.
Bonnet, Bonnet,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
and Fisher, I think. Did we say Fisher? Okay.
Okay, resolution 61 is passed. And wait, that was 60, wasn't it? I'm sorry. We're moving on to number 61. Checking the box, it's too quick.
Resolution number 61-2024, a resolution approving a pre-development agreement and consulting services agreement for Degas LLC.
Okay. You want to comment before we go? Is there a motion to discuss this? Alder Anderson. Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Alder Yads?
I'll make a second.
And we have a little comment, a little introduction by Larry.
Right, so this relates to the project that was discussed in closed session at the last meeting. to get kicked off, we've got to do some evaluation of the engineering necessary for public utilities and evaluate the possibility of creating a TID in this project area. And we would be asking for a approval of authority to enter into a pre-development agreement with this developer, under which they would then agree to reimburse the city for all of its expenses for these pre-development tasks. And the total amount for that pre-development, of all of those pre-development costs for third-party consultants would be $249,000. The agreements under that, both with potentially MSA for engineering review and for financial services, each have their own limits within that $249,000 total. And then there's some additional dollars in there for my costs in doing this work. So you'll see the resolution is a little bit general in the sense that we're asking for approval of these to enter into agreements under these financial terms. We still have to finalize the scope of the engineering work and therefore the final agreement itself. But the key being that this developer is asking to enter into an agreement by which they can reimburse the city for these costs.
Okay, any questions of Attorney Konopacki? Okay, seeing none, we'll take a vote.
Hiley,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Olson, Perkins,
Aye.
Yuds,
Aye.
Zop,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Appenfelt,
Aye.
Onet,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Okay, resolution 61 passes. And we move on to resolution 63.
Resolution number 63-2024, a resolution to enter into a contract with the Marshfield Medical Center for 340B healthcare services.
Okay, can we get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we got Alder Hiley makes a motion. Is there a second? Alder Mark?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Nathan, you have some background on this one?
I do, and also representative from Marshfield Medical is on the Zoom. So if there are specific questions, the Marshfield Medical Center reached out about a week and a half ago. Basically, they're asking for the city to issue this resolution and enter into a contract so that they can qualify for the 340B public health service program. I don't know much more about it than that, except that it provides the opportunity for them to provide low-cost prescriptions to those who qualify for Medicare and Medicaid. Girish, is there anything you would want to add?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So the 340B program services are the third largest government healthcare program for Medicare, Medicaid, and the VA system. What it does is it enables hospitals that meet a certain criteria that is set by HRSA, the Health and Human Resources Department, to provide, to get access to lower cost medications. This enables most of the healthcare organizations to offset some of the costs associated with providing charity care and other uncompensated care for individuals. It's a pretty standard agreement. It does not prohibit or restrict the city from any other activity of any kind. All it says is that we enter into an agreement with the city to ensure that we can continue to provide this care, and this qualifies us for the grant. There is no financial cost to the city or to anyone else. The grant, through the mechanisms of the grant, the program kind of funds itself, so to speak.
Thank you. And at that, there are any questions from council?
Alder Hiley?
I have a question. What requirements does the city of Beaver Dam meet to qualify for this?
So every location in the US is automatically qualified. The qualification requirements are for the hospital or the covered entity to meet. So the city of Marshfield, the Marshfield Clinic Hospital in Beaver Dam qualifies by virtue of being a rural referral center. And for that, there are certain restrictions that we have to meet. The primary one is that your Medicaid population is at least 8%. Then there are restrictions on where the patients are originating from, how far they travel for their care, the availability of specialists, so on and so forth, which we submit to the government to validate. As far as the city goes, there's no requirement on the city to meet this.
Correct. So you're stating that we would qualify under the rural community.
Right, the hospital would qualify under the rural community, yes.
My second question is then, does this restrict any other pharmacies in the city
No,
to also apply? Okay, that's what I thought as well. Thank you.
absolutely.
As long as they qualify. Right.
That is correct. Yeah, as long as they qualify, like it could be an AIDS clinic, TB clinic, however, whatever criteria they meet, they would qualify. This does not restrict anyone from anything else.
So it
I'm
really
sorry
sounds
about being in person. I did not realize where to go, so I figured the Zoom link was the best bet.
No, that's good. We're glad to have you here. So it's really more of an endorsement on the part of the city than a contract where we'll be using the service. Is that correct?
That is correct. Unfortunately, it's called a contract. That's how HRSA determines it. So
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, please call the roll.
Keel?
Aye.
Oh, we have one. Hiley and
Yeah,
Mark.
yeah, we have a motion.
Keel,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Yads,
Aye.
Zop,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Appenfelt,
Aye.
Bonet,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Hiley.
Aye.
Okay, resolution 63 passes. We move on to number 5 on the agenda, which is closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.85 paren E, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of property, public property, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. So can I get a motion to go into closed session, please? Alder Yudd?
I'll make that motion.
And is there a second? Alder Perkins, second?
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor of going into closed session?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we're going to be in closed session as soon as we close the door. The first item regular session, open session, right? We do have a resolution to read. That's resolution number 62.
Resolution number 62-2024, adopting a First Amendment to a developers agreement for the Newman Properties.
Okay, looking for a motion. I got one from Alder Mark.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 62, 2024.
Okay, and second, Alder Fisher. All right, any other discussion? All right, we'll take the call roll.
Mark,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Perkins,
Aye.
Yeds,
Aye.
Zop,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Appenfelt,
Aye.
Bonet,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Hiley,
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Resolution number 62 is passed, and looking for a motion to adjourn. Alder Burnett. Is there a second to that motion? Alder Perkins.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye,
Aye.
and all opposed, go home.